Hello.
Hello.
Okay, hi everyone. Welcome to our interview with Seann Bowe. We're going to be talking about music and why he's in Japan and Japanese music scene, all this fun stuff. So, like, subscribe, anything, whatever people do on YouTube. I don't know.
Hit that like button.
Hit that like button because Sean said so. Okay, so first of all, please introduce yourself.
So I'm Seann Bowe. I'm a Grammy-nominated multi-platinum producer from Los Angeles, living in Tokyo now.
Cool. So obviously you're in Tokyo. You're from LA. So what brought you to Japan, and like what sparked your interest in being part of the Japanese music scene?
Well, you know, I've always loved Japan. When I was really young, I was like super into Godzilla. Like,
okay.
you know, all my friends were like Disney movies and stuff like
yeah.
that. But the only thing that would like get me to shut up and just sit in front of the TV was Godzilla.
Nice.
And so that turned into liking anime and liking like Visual Kei music. I got into Visual Kei when I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And I studied for a little while in high school, but I never went. And finally, an artist named MIYAVI asked me to go on tour here.
The jump! Sugoi! Okay, yes.
Yeah. And that was my first time ever in Japan. I think that was 2016, 2017.
Right, okay.
And I just fell in love, like.
Okay.
And I was like, I need to be here.
So your introduction to Japan was through literally asking from MIYAVI?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And everyone's just like, you know, I came on holiday, I enjoyed the vibes, you know, or like I studied at uni, and you're like, yeah, MIYAVI just like asked me to come.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I'm just still in shock over the MIYAVI thing. That's crazy. So have you worked with MIYAVI like since then?
Yeah, I work with MIYAVI pretty much every year since 2016.
Nice.
The first record we did was Firebird. And it's funny because the reason I was in that session is because, you know, a friend of mine was like, I know you like Japan a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm working with this Japanese artist. We need someone to help write melodies. Do you want to come? And so first song we ever wrote was Firebird, actually.
That's crazy. So now you guys know who's behind Firebird.
Hey!
That's actually insane. Wow. Okay. Because I knew you worked with MIYAVI, but I didn't know it was the... Wow. Sugoi. Okay, so having worked between like the Japanese music scene and the American, like US music scene, what would you say is like the biggest difference between them?
Well, the American music scene, there's a couple differences. So the American music scene is you're in and out of studios every day.
Okay.
You're working with different people every day, you know. And so there's all these different influences that come into the music, things like that I think are really cool and unique.
Mm-hmm.
But in Japan, we have something what's called COMM.
Okay.
And COMM, I'm pretty sure it's short for competition.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, that's how you work with artists in Japan. It's not one-on-one.
Okay.
It's actually, you'll get a document that says, here are a couple songs we think could be like this song.
Okay.
Here's what we want it to be about. Here's like, sometimes it'll have like the top note they can sing.
Okay.
So you have to make sure you don't go higher than that
Wow.
note. And so you write songs either by yourself or maybe you'll find a friend to write with, and then submit to them. And that's how a lot of music gets placed in Japan.
Okay, so it feels more like formal, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. There's not a lot of collaboration that happens in Japan, and that was one of the reasons I wanted to move here, is because I want to see if we can do that kind of LA style in Japan, where everyone's going in and out of rooms and new music is being created every day that way, and see, you know, what comes out of that, you know.
Yeah, that would be such a cool thing, because I think like you just bring like such a good energy to like the fashion scene, not the fashion scene, the music scene. What am I talking about? To the music scene. So it'd just be like, I don't know, like really shake things up if it's that like formalized, I guess.
Right, exactly.
Wow, it's just like exactly the top note and the like you do this part, you do this part. That's
and it'll have the story for the song sometimes in the comment too. So you don't get to be as creative, you know, instead of just saying like, we want a sad song or we want a happy song. Sometimes it'll be like, he meets her, but he's too shy to speak to her. And like, and you're like, okay, this is the song we have to write. It's already halfway written.
Right.
You know.
So like basically the lyrics there is like he means her, and you're like he means.
Just type down what's in the email. Yeah.
That's crazy, because like the whole point of music is to like, you know, be expressive and like you know, put something new out there, but it's kind of the opposite process, I guess.
Right. And this is mostly for idol music.
Okay.
And in rock music, you know, I've worked with MIYAVI and Hyde and a couple other artists here, and we sit down with them.
Yeah.
And we're like, what do you want to say?
Oh.
You know? And you know, like, what kind of song do you want to write? What's going on in your life? That's how we do it in LA too.
Okay, yeah.
So the rock scene is very similar.
Okay.
But as far as like idol music and pop music goes here, it's very much you give them the song and they just go on stage and sing it.
Right.
And I don't think that's very fair, because you don't get to hear people's stories that way. You get to hear the songwriter's stories.
Yeah.
But you don't get to hear truly what's coming from the artist.
That's so true. That's like when people talk about manufactured idols and stuff. That's basically, okay.
It's very manufactured.
Yeah, because, you know, people just throw around it's like manufactured. Now it's like, okay, I understand their look, like their actual just song is just given to them. That's so weird.
Yeah.
So far in your illustrious career, what's been the most memorable moment for you?
The most memorable moment?
Yes.
I would have to say the first time I went on stage in Japan, to be honest.
Where was that?
That was in Nagoya, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
And I was just shocked by like the crowd. Like, it's just so different. Like in between songs, everyone's quiet. I mean, you'll hear people MIYAVI, but like for the most part, everyone's like was really quiet and like respectful almost, you know. And also at the same time, like everything's coordinated. If you tell people to jump, the entire crowd jumps in sync. And it was just so insane to like see that kind of participation from a crowd and you know, at a live, and like it just completely changed my whole perspective on like what a live could be. Because, you know, in the States, like someone says jump and you'll have this part of the crowd jump, and over here everyone's just like this. But like, you know, at least at MIYAVI shows, people were all coordinated and everyone participated, and it just like, it opened my eyes to like a new kind of live, I guess you could say. And that was really cool.
Yeah, I've never really thought about it that way. I guess like, I don't know, at least in the UK, like in between songs, it's like you just hear people like, you know, that sound, like, that sound of like just talking, and even when the singer is talking, like everyone else is talking at the same time. Yeah, I don't know. I always assumed the coordination was just with like idol groups, because you know you see like the what's this called?
Whatever that thing is called.
Wotage? Wotage?
Wakanda.
But like, yeah. But that must be such a nice and lovely experience for you as well. Just be like, everyone's like enjoying themselves.
And it was a turning point for me as well, because when I was before, you know, my music career started because I was in a band called Mechanical Kids, and we blew up on MySpace, got signed to Universal, and like,
oh my God,
I was working with all these producers and songwriters, and that's how I got introduced to songwriting and producing. And then the band after that went pretty well, but after that I told myself I'm not going to be an artist anymore. You know, my old mentor also told me, you know, like you need to focus on songwriting and producing. And so I kind of just gave up on being an artist. But after those shows and like being in Japan and just having this jolt, like it was like something shook me awake. I was like, I want to live in Japan and I want to be an artist again. And so for me, that was a huge turning point.
Can you tell us some of your new, like, favorite up-and-coming bands or artists in Japan?
Well, there's one in particular, and I'm actually working with them right now. They're called Star Kids.
Oh, I know them.
Yeah. It's like hyperpop meets 2010s, like American, like Katy Perry, Kesha, those kind of things, but with like trap flows and stuff. And I really think they're going to do big things in the next couple of years. Like, they're just so different, and it's not like they're just, because there are other hyperpop artists in Japan, but they're very close to the sound of hyperpop right now.
Okay.
Star Kids, I feel like, is doing their own thing. And plus they're a group, which is really cool. It reminds me of, like, do you remember the song G6, like a G6? Yeah, it's like that era. But, you know, refreshed and coming back, you know?
Oh, exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone check out Star Kids. Star Kids, Google it, YouTube it, TikTok it. Okay, so you recently organized an event with the rock artists and, like, is it electronic music, I guess?
Yeah.
So do you think genres like hyperpop, which use digital instruments, have kind of overtaken traditional, like, guitar, drum, band kind of things?
I did at first. But I think now with streaming and all these accesses to different genres through things like TikTok, both kind of coexist.
Okay.
You know, we have people like Machine Gun Kelly and like Mathika and acts that are coming up that have like you know, rock infused pop sounds, and those artists are doing really well. And then at the same time you have hyperpop and this electronic kind of style, and they're both kind of learning to coexist, you know, and in some cases they overlap. There's an artist called Breakins who like combines like indie rock with, I guess you can call it indie rock, with hyperpop. I love Breakins. So I think they're learning to coexist and even mingling in some cases. So I don't think it's as much as like, you know, it used to be genres were competitive. You know, this genre is winning and this genre is not, you know. But now I think they all kind of have the same chance through different, you know, TikTok and streaming and things like that. Like everyone can find what they like and you can be successful in whatever genre you're in.
You're a producer and a songwriter for other artists, but you're also an artist yourself. So you kind of talked about this already, but which one do you think is the most fulfilling for you right now?
I love live music. I love being on stage. So for me, if it comes to being on stage, it overtakes everything. But I do enjoy songwriting and producing, but I think being an artist, if I don't have that, if I don't have this outlet where I can go, okay, this is something I love, this is a song I love, but it doesn't fit anybody I'm working with, I want to put it out. Like, I need to be an artist to be able to do that.
Yeah, definitely, because it gives you the most like freedom, creative expression, and everything.
Right.
Like, that's what music's about. So
you
know, like you already said with the manufactured idol, you don't want to be another one of those, or like only be behind that kind of stuff.
Exactly. But at the same time, you know, songwriting and producing, specifically songwriting, is very fulfilling because, you know, the way I write with artists is like, I'll sit them down and I'll be like, what's going on with you? Like, how's your life? Like, is there something...
Like a therapist?
Yeah, exactly. We play therapy.
Oh my God.
And then, you know, while we're talking, some word will come up. You know, recently I wrote a song called Borrowed Skin, and it was about an artist I'm working with who feels like, you know, she's been giving all these songs, but she doesn't get any input on what she's singing. She has to go on stage and say these words that don't mean anything to her. She feels like she's living in borrowed skin. And so we wrote a whole song about that. And I love finding that, you know. Through someone's story, we find this title and just build a world around it. And that's really fun.
That's so nice. 'Cause I like, just as a parallel to fashion as well, I feel like a lot of brands, or like more established brands, do have this world building sense around it, and each like of their collections is kind of the same. So it's super nice to hear that music has like this world, I guess, that's like just built around each song.
Right.
And I guess like albums and stuff are even like bigger constructions of that.
Everything is concept.
Everything is concept.
Yeah.
I do love a concept.
Yeah.
I do love a concept. Every shoot I do has like a really has a lore. You know, it's like Lord of the Rings. I didn't know that like it just involves this like whole conversation just to create like one song, I guess.
Right.
But I guess that's why it always like moves people, because they're like they immerse themselves in it as well, like through the melody and the lyrics.
Right. I'm a firm believer that people can smell. Can I swear on here?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that people can smell shit from a mile away.
Yeah.
You know, if you're lying, if you're saying something that isn't true to you, people they don't know it, but they feel it.
Yeah.
And so when you tell someone's true story through a song, it has this impact. It has the ability to reach there and like grab you.
So artists and producers, you have like a signature or like a sound or a style that you can say like, hey, it's that person. I'm just quoting Pharrell because he's got his like 4-count beat intro.
Right.
Dun, 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 dun. So do you have anything that you would say is like your signature or your style or something like, hey, that's Seann?
Sad.
It's sad.
I'm really good at writing sad songs.
I mean, like, yeah, I know it's like your biggest song, but I really love Hate You like so much.
That's the prime example.
It's a really nice way to express your own sadness.
Right.
And like, if I don't know, when I listen to sad songs, it's like I need to listen to it.
Right.
So we laugh, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
The beautiful thing about music is like, and movies and art in general, if it's something sad, even though it's sad, it actually makes you feel better, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's because it's like this human connection, like, oh, someone else is sad, or it's just this relief when you just like get to let those emotions out and feel them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like sad music, even though it's depressing, it helps heal a lot of people. And that's why I like writing it, because people feel, you know, I can relate to this, you know. I believe like your deepest, darkest secret is the most relatable thing about you.
Your album, The Phantom of Dorgenzaka, it for me anyway, perfectly captures like the vibe of Tokyo. So we have like the Japanese and Western influences. So for example, in the song Nonde, which is a banger by the way.
Thank you.
Nonde, nonde, nonde. But in the back it has like the typical like Japanese kind of sounds, and then kind of in Sanctuary like lo-fi city pop I was kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And then pop punk drums in Cartes, like, so it has like all these like really cool Japanese and Western influences. So could you tell us more about like the sonic, is that a word, sonical? The musical influences behind your album?
Yeah, so it's actually based on a day that actually happened to me in Japan.
One day?
Just one.
Oh my god.
So, you know, Neki, who's featured on the album, on Nonde, shout out Neki.
Shout out Neki.
He called me up after I had just got off the plane. So the first song is actually riding the plane to Japan. The second song is called Daisy, but it's actually just all about riding a taxi into Japan. And basically, we went out drinking, and while we were drinking, this like bar fight broke out.
Oh my god.
And the cops came, and I just like, I don't know why, but we just kind of scattered and like ran away, and like, and then, you know, once we had all like dispersed, I was by myself in the middle of Dogenzaka, like barely knew the place, just drunk as hell. And basically like, yeah, it just follows that whole progression of like that night is like, it was just the most yabai day of all time.
That sounds so chaotic.
Yeah. But that's like, you know, what didn't happen is we didn't get chased by the cops, but there is a song called Car Chase, and I thought that would just make it more exciting. But the other tracks are all true to life. You know, Known Day is about the drinking. Bar Fight is literally about the bar fight. And Phantom of Dogenzaka is, you know, just about being lost and kind of, you know, fucked up in the middle of a place you don't know in a different country. And, you know, just kind of like that loneliness, but at the same time, that kind of like waviness of it all. There's actually a music video for Phantom of Dogenzaka.
What? Oh my god.
Yeah. And basically, I just never put it out. I never found the good timing, but I should just drop it, shouldn't I?
Like this video if you think Seann should drop the music video. Absolutely, you should just drop the music video. We're all waiting.
Okay. I'll put it out.
Put it out.
I'll make a promise to you.
You saw it here first. No, I think it's, for me, when I listen to the album, because obviously I listen to it, I really like that it's not that typical like sound of like what you think Japan is. Obviously it's got like 三味線とか
Yeah, taiko.
Yeah, taiko. But it's like, it's Shibuya, which is so chaotic and so like wild, and I think people miss out a lot on that part of Tokyo especially.
Right.
You know, just being like, yeah, you're right. Like, you don't think there's gonna be a bar fight in Shibuya.
Right.
Or people like drinking and throwing up, you know. Like that really, you just really listen to it, you're like, yeah, I'm in Shibuya at like,
Right.
at like 1 a.m. outside like Club Asia or something, you know? So, to someone who doesn't know much about the Japanese music scene, it probably seems like it's made up of just like idols and visual K rock bands. What would you say to these people? Like, can you enlighten them as to, I don't know, the parts of the Japanese music scene?
Yeah, it's hard to find.
Yeah.
It's hard to find, but there is a huge underground in Japan. And, you know, like artists like Star Kids, like I mentioned before, who are doing like hyper pop music and things like that. And then you, like recently, actually, you know, I do feel sometimes that Japan is a little bit behind, you know, 10 years behind sometimes. And the trap scene is blowing up here right now. So please check out Japanese trap music because it's amazing. And also, the Vocaloid scene is amazing here.
Still?
Yeah, Vocaloid is coming back. I mean, that's how Otto was born. She was doing Yotaite, like she was covering Vocaloid songs and turning them into real vocals. And lately I've been really into Vocaloid music.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was still a thing.
Yeah.
Oh
And it's
my
not just Hatsune Miku and Mika. Hatsune Miku.
Miku.
I'm gonna get killed for that.
Both of us is like, we live here, we don't know what's going on. But you mentioned you obviously were into visual K.
Yeah.
And so I've seen on the internet, on TikTok mainly, there's like massive debate about visual K, and whether or not it's just music or it's a style as well, like a fashion style. Would you happen to have any insight on that?
Oh, it's definitely both.
That's what
It's
I thought.
100%
That's what I thought.
It's visual K.
Right? Because I think some people are saying that it's just like one or the other, but they coexist, right?
Yeah, they're a part of a package. It's emo, like emo music is the same
Right?
thing.
It's like emo and punk. It's like emo fashion, emo music, punk fashion, punk music.
It's like saying hair metal.
Yeah.
It's just metal.
Nah.
You have to have the hair.
I have the hair.
Yeah.
That is so true. The visual K.
Yeah.
Wow. The answer was right there in front of us.
Right.
So since you've been in Japan since 2016,
Right.
how do you think the Japanese music scene has changed?
Like I said, trap music.
Just trap music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first came here, I was like, why is there no SoundCloud scene? Why is there like no trap music here? Things like that. Like, and recently it's all blown up. And SoundCloud is huge here now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I think it's a good era for Japanese music because like SoundCloud in 2016 for the States was like when everyone got to explore styles and like not be limited because you had a place where people could find your music very easily, organically. And now that's starting to happen here.
It must be super nice for like the younger generation who want to be like found
Right.
as well. What are your future goals or aspirations?
My future goals are to have a hit song in Japan. Yeah. Last year's goal was to have an anime opening. And I actually had the opening for Tennis no Oji-sama, Prince of Tennis.
Oh, that's a massive anime.
Yeah.
Wait, were you like the songwriter or the artist?
Producer.
Or the producer? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So that was like a dream come true.
Omedetou.
So I'm just like, well, I set that bar and I was able to do it. So let's go hit song, you know?
Yeah.
See if we can do it.
Yeah, you're gonna be like outside Tower Records.
That'd be amazing.
What? Oh my god. I'm so looking forward to this already.
Yeah.
Like that's Sean. Oh my god, yes. That would be crazy.
And I'd love to work with, there's this group called XG.
Okay.
They're like a new Japanese pop group, but they speak 3 languages, like Korean, English, and Japanese, and their music's super cool. So you know, if I could get a song with them, that'd be another goal.
And okay, last question. Do you have any last words or anything you'd like to say to the people?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for watching. Support Choom by hitting the like and subscribe button. And, you know, my music, a lot of people know me for my ballads. You know, you mentioned Hate You. I have a new song called Feel Everything. Check that out too. But I'm more than that. I have ADHD, so I write so many genres I can't choose. So there's something for everyone inside my discography. And if you do take the chance to listen, which I would be so appreciative of, please send me a message. Let me know what song kind of hit you the most, and I'd love to talk to you.
Well, thanks for coming.
Of course, this was really fun.
This is really fun. It was a bit chaotic, but you know, whatever.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Okay, so thanks to Sean.
Thanks to Choom.
Yay. And check out this video, obviously, because you've been watching it. And check out our next video whenever that comes out. So, yeah, that's it.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.